This probably won't be too long of a video, because I kind of just want to, sit here and, complain that, everybody and their mother just despises this game for no reason. And of course, you know, I've seen some good reasons, I've seen valid reasons, but half of them are just people not knowing how to play fighting games, and to me, that's really confusing. Now, I haven't put a lot of time into Invincible versus Guy. I have other games that I play. But I'd be lying if I said this game was way better than the internet would have you convinced. And I really do feel like we live in an era where every game just gets hated on for one reason or another. Whether it's, you know, truthful or not. Because I see videos of people like baiting engagement, talking about like, oh, why is the game like this? And it makes no sense to me, and it's just really confusing. And I do think there's a lot of people with skill issues and people not willing to learn the game, because I'm by no means good at the game, or even there. Like I'm pretty good at games like Tekken and Marvel vs. Capcom. But, you know, games take time to learn, and people just expected everything to get handed to them on a silver platter, and for everything to be exactly how they expected. And I think a lot of Invincible fans, and I'm a huge Invincible fan, I've read the comics and everything, I feel like a lot of people who just, you know, watch the show and engage with the community and the memes and such, don't actually play fighting games and didn't know what to expect, because I see a lot of comparisons to Mortal Kombat for some reason. And I was not expecting this game to be on Mortal Kombat at all. I don't know why people thought it would be. And I see plenty of people in the fighting game community actually enjoying it. I feel like it's just people who aren't in the scene, if that makes sense. Because I feel like I shouldn't have done that. I feel like I could list more people who like it in the fighting game community than people who don't. And by that I mean like pros and YouTubers and streamers. But I feel like if you're just some dude on the internet, you just don't like it, because I guess you just don't play it, because I don't know what kind of game people expected, or what kind of quality people expected. I actually like how the game looks, I like how it plays, I like how it runs, I like how all the characters control. And this isn't, you know, this isn't me saying the game is great. You know, the game has its issues. But, I mean, is it really warranted to pretend like this game is hot garbage because you aren't good at it? Because that's what it really feels like. And I don't know if people... I don't know if people expected the game to be more complex. Because if it was, people would complain about it even more, and people would riot and say that, oh, the game's too hard, or I don't understand how to do anything. Although this map's laggy, I don't know if my computer's garbage, or if this map is just always like this. But I do have my graphics like turned all the way up, so that's probably why. But I don't understand what is the whole deal with everyone being so divided. Because I get it if you wanted a more complex game, and I see a lot of people saying auto combos or unbreakable combos, when there's literally things in the game that can get you out of combos. It's like these people immediately skipped the tutorial and went to ranked and expected them to just run through everybody. You can get out of combos. There aren't just like these insanely good, you know, combos that you can't get out of no matter what. Like, there's always a way. The game would have zero balance if there wasn't. There's so many people who just, I guess, don't... I mean, if you play the arcade mode, or if you play practice, or if you play versus, even in ranked, you'll find people legitimately doing the move that gets you out of combos like that. And I don't know what people's deal is, because on one side, yes, the game is very simple in terms of its combos. You can create some awesome combos by doing basically nothing. But you still gotta put some work in. You still gotta know what you're doing. You can't just press buttons. I mean, at least I don't. I don't know if there's like legitimately just pressing X 10 times gives you an auto combo. I don't know if that's a thing. I've seen people say that the whole game's auto combos, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like the game's pretty responsive to your buttons, and it doesn't just give you the same string of moves over and over. But also, I feel like it should be expected that the game will be more simple, because we live in an era where people complain about anything that's hard. If this was still the 2010s and the 2000s, I don't think it'd be as bad. But people hate complexity in video games. People hate when things aren't handed to them. People like feeling like they have quote-unquote aura. Which I hate, by the way. I hate the whole, like, aura farming nonsense, and or people complaining that certain characters aren't cool enough, or this or that. I think each character represents themselves perfectly fine. And some characters you really couldn't have done more for. I mean, what do you expect? Conquest to one-shot everybody? Battle Beast to one-shot everybody? Nolan to one-shot everybody? I mean, I don't know. I just don't get it. And by the way, this video is not scripted, as you can probably tell. I hate the fan base of this game already. And I wish that we could just have a fan base that isn't a bunch of losers who just think everything's bad and want to complain about literally everything and anything. That people didn't force them to buy. There was literally a beta you could have played. If you didn't like it, you shouldn't have bought the game. That is just, it's as simple as that. You had a chance to buy the game. And they're also listening to community feedback. They almost literally lowered the price of skins, which I saw was a big complaint. But I mean, if that was also really dumb. I mean, I don't think skins should have been $10, but they are lowering the prices of certain skins. I imagine they're going to have skins with more detail or maybe custom animations or something, but I mean, they're listening to the fan base. But no, there's always got to be something to complain about. And for the people who like the game, they really like the game. For the people who just dislike the game, they pretend it's the worst thing ever. I saw someone in the comments section saying that it wishes it had the complexity of Mortal Kombat, when Mortal Kombat is known for being more simple than other fighting games. Like, I honestly wouldn't have wanted this game to play like Mortal Kombat, because it would have been annoying, it would have felt boring. I mean, maybe Mortal Kombat fans, maybe that's what it is. Maybe fans of certain fighting games just want this game to play like theirs. I don't know. I feel like this kind of plays like a Marvel vs. Capcom game. Maybe not as cheesy in terms of like going crazy on combos and strings and such. But I really wouldn't have wanted it to be any other way. I don't want this game to play like Tekken. I don't want to play like Street Fighter. I think this is good. I think Invincible is, in terms of like what it tries to do, is a very fast-paced and powerful, fight-heavy series. So I don't know what people expect. I think it's not too fast. It's not too slow. It looks like the show, which most people have seen. If you're buying this, I'm assuming that you've watched the show and not just memes. But I think it's good. I think it's good. I think it looks good. I think it represents the series very well. I think the balancing's good. I think you can win with any character. There's no character that I've played with that feels bad or feels wrong. And I kind of just play with my favorite characters. And I'm so excited for the DLC, even though it got leaked and it shouldn't have. I'm very excited for it, and I probably will buy it, but I don't know. I mean, I'm sure changes going to be made to the game that makes it better. But I do think a lot of the hate is unwarranted. I mean, it was what? Not even a full-priced game. It was $50, right? So, like, I mean, I don't expect it to look as good as an Arc System Works game, or like a Capcom game, or even by the way, I was complaining about, I wasn't even complaining, I was just saying how I don't do the same move over and over, and I just did. So maybe I am part of the problem. Maybe I'm just a stupid idiot. But, I don't know. I think the hate's unwarranted. And I really hope that this game gets the love and attention that it needs, which I don't know if it will. I feel like the game's gonna die pretty fast because the fan base is too divided, and because people get bored of things very quickly. But also, this is coming from the heart. The more videos I watch on people complaining about it, the more I realize that If you consume that kind of media, you're just going to start to hate it because people nitpick on everything. I'm sure someone can look at this victory screen and be like, okay, well, he looks stupid or his head looks too square. And it's just, it would ruin it for some people. I'm just not going to let that happen to me. I can't, you know, I like to enjoy things. I'm not gonna let other people's opinions decide how I feel about a game. Because, in my opinion, I think this game's sick, and I think this game deserves to be treated as such. I don't know what I'm gonna title it, I don't know what I'm gonna make for a thumbnail, but it's definitely gonna be about the game not being as bad as people say, because it isn't. It really isn't. You can argue as much as you want, but, I mean, for a fighting game, especially for the, like, basically the first important and first big Invincible game, this is perfect. I wouldn't have wanted it to be a Marvel Spider-Man-like game. I wouldn't have wanted it to be an open world game, because it would have just been reused assets and nonsense and probably short and sweet. I like how this is. I like that it's a fighting game. Also, I don't think the story should have been that long. I liked how the story was. It felt like a special of the show. And I feel like that's how it should have been. I think they may even do more. I think they may add more. And for people who thought it was going to be like an MK story mode, I didn't expect that. This game, through and through, is made by people who like fighting games. I feel like you can really tell. There's at least some of that DNA in there. I didn't want the story to be too long, honestly. I thought it was short and sweet. If you tried to spin it out too much, I mean, where would they have really pulled from? And I didn't want it to be like a Dragon Ball game where they just rehashed the story from a show. It would have just been the same thing. People would have complained about that too. But for what people have said about the story mode, I actually see a lot of people like it. I think some people are definitely going to skip it, which is a perfect reason why it shouldn't be very long. It shouldn't have been a Guilty Gear story mode where it was just all video, all movie. I think it was good. I think the only kind of improvements you could have made definitely was to some pacing. I definitely think you could have tried to include more characters and made it make sense, because people were going to were thinking that it was going to be like an alternate universe instead of like a simulation, which I guess, I mean, that was a bit goofy. But I thought it was cool. After a while, I thought it was neat. I'm also not doing very good. Oh wait, never mind. I thought I was the wrong guy. I guess after this match, I'll probably just end the video because, you know, why not? You know, don't got a lot more to say. I think you should play the game. I think you should give it a shot. You should give it a chance, and you should enjoy it. I don't think we should hate on things unnecessarily just because we aren't used to it or because it wasn't how we expected. Because you didn't have to buy it. You know, you didn't have to buy it. And it was a first attempt. It's not like there's, you know, 15 other Invincible games to go off of to compare it to. This is the big one. And it's good. I wouldn't say it's great. I wouldn't say it's my favorite fighting game ever. But it's good. And it is what I expected. Simply expect what it looks, you know, what you'll know by what it looks like. You can look at a game and know how it'll be. Some games try to make themselves seem too ambitious. This game showed you exactly what it is. And I respect that. And I love how the community, not the community, the developers of the game are. I love how supportive they are of the fans and how much they listen. That's a great thing. That means good improvements for the games. A lot of fighting games aren't perfect on launch. Some get better, some get worse. It just depends. I think we should give it the time it needs instead of just tearing it apart already.